variable so that if anybody else wants to use it, they can reuse it. So something like this, get item field here. That's when I'm adding it, but down here when I'm creating my buttons, I'm also calling get item field and get list. So you see it's being called in two places. I don't want to create two copies of that thing, right? I just want to create it once and then use it the second time. So whichever one of these gets called first, it'll create it. The next time it'll just reuse it. And that frees me up quite a bit from the order of initialization. And that's actually a pretty good step. But you'll notice this whole thing is very, very procedural. So I'm going to create a frame calls get list, create center panel. Now, just as a little note, the get and the create here, I made different names on that just because I knew some of them are being reused. So the ones that are being reused, I explicitly put a getter on. I should have been more consistent on it, but I just wanted to call it out here just so you could visualize it a little bit better. And then he calls create center panel, which calls get item field, create bottom, blah, 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 and so on and so on. So it's this big, nice, recursive descent in order to create our GUI. And that works, right? It's fairly readable. It's fairly safe. You don't have to worry about the order of initialization and everything, right? But it's kind of spread out, right? So it's kind of hard to see the GUI. It's kind of hard to visualize the GUI in this case, which is one of those places where I think GUI builder tools are actually kind of nice. GUI builder tools that you see the GUI, as long as you don't put the logic in there. When people start putting logic into the GUI in the GUI builder, then I got a problem with that. But if you have a GUI builder and it generates code like this, that's great. And just as a by the way, I really don't like the idea of a GUI builder that generates code and then you modify the code. I think it should just strictly be, think of the GUI builder as a higher level language. Kind of like when you write something in C.